to talk a bit about man-woman relations. The thing that we have to recognize, of course, is that the relationship between men and women, or between a man and a woman, is not an isolated situation. That the way you love one another, the way you love your girlfriends, your boyfriends, your husbands, your wives, your children, is rooted in a political social system. Love, it just does not flow out of your heart, and it's just not natural like we tend to think of it as being. It is influenced by your own experience as an individual, as well as by your experience as a people.
Hail Zamint, peace gods and goddess. On the subject of black women, okay, and on the subject of organizing in that sense, I feel like it's also important to talk about what black love is and what it has matured into being. You understand? Okay? Black love and a black marriage, especially in 2026, can no longer just be about love. Okay? And I know that may be a bit problematic to say, but love is just a feeling, okay? And it is only a small factor of what a black marriage has to be. You understand? Of course, I want you to love me, okay? Of course, I want you to adore me in those senses, okay? But we also have a bigger duty here as we are coming together as one. And what I mean is that a black marriage has to be very disciplined, okay? A black marriage has to be about growth and about purpose. You understand? We do not have the privilege of dating and doing things in folly anymore. And I say that a lot. Our relationships cannot just be a matter of I have a crush on her, she has a crush on me, these things of that nature. We do not have the privilege to play around like that anymore. We are not even reproducing at a rate that is enough to keep replenishing our race. Do you understand? Um, so when we are coming together and we are talking about marriage, this marriage has to be the focal point or the nuclear of the generational wealth that is being created. Okay, marriage and in relationships in society play a pivotal function as to how that group is advancing and how that culture is being built within that group. So when we are talking about a black marriage between a black man and a black woman, we are talking about essentially what will be used and what will be seen as the culture. You understand? This will be a cultural stamp. So when we talk about coming together, it has to be done so in a purposeful manner. It has to be done so in a more intentional manner outside of just I love you. We are coming together to unite. We are coming together to break curses. We are coming together to generate wealth, not just for us, but for our community. We are coming together to create life. Okay, and when we are creating life, this life is our future. So we are coming together essentially to start a garden. Okay, to plant seeds, and we both have to attend to this garden. Okay, we both have to have a purpose here, and in doing so, we have to both hold each other accountable for that purpose. You understand? We have to make sure that we are keeping one another on track to that on that path and for that purpose. Okay, but black marriages no longer have the ability or the privilege to just simply be a marriage, to just be about I love you, you love me, oh baby, we're gonna be together forever. No, it cannot be about these abstract thoughts that has been sold to us in movies, that has been sold to us by the American culture. Okay, because this American culture is about consumerism. Okay, and even marriages um that are being brought about, you understand, are simply just around profit and just simply around money and around business. Okay, this cannot be the case for the black marriage, especially considering that we have been excluded outside of the mainstream society. You understand, so we cannot base our marriage based around what the society is telling us they need that marriage to be, because as I have stated earlier, marriage marriage is like the focal point, or a married couple is like the nucleus of a culture. You understand? It is a product of what that culture needs it to be at that time. And so when you have children as well, they will also be raised in order to fulfill whatever the society needs. So, and even as I've stated in previous videos, um, if we are in a society that is meant to keep us mentally inferior, okay, we cannot then base our marriage based on this society, or we will have an inferior marriage, and then our children will be born into an inferior status and mindset, and essentially keep that on, keep passing that on down. You understand? So the black marriage has to be rooted in purpose. It has to be rooted in unity. It has to be rooted in these divine constructs that are outside of the mainstream system. Because when we are coming together and getting married, it is more than just the idea of love, okay? It is more than that. It is simply, not even simply, it is deeply rooted in radicalism, okay? It is deeply rooted in resistance, because at one point we weren't even allowed to get married to one another, okay? So it is deeply rooted in resistance, in resilience, okay? And so when we are building our marriage and when we are building our life together, this is what it has to be rooted around. It has to be rooted around that we are partners, that we are a god and a goddess attempting to create a kingdom, and create a kingdom not just for ourselves but for our people and for our children to thrive in, and to essentially continue. Okay, we are building continuity here. We are building generational wealth, and breaking curses and breaking spells and rising our frequencies, when the very society that we are put in is trying to keep us down. It's trying to keep us in an inferior mindset. It's trying to keep us vibrating on a lower frequency, so our manifestation abilities does not work. You understand? Our marriage has to be rooted in discipline and in purpose, along with the fact that it is rooted in love and in trust and in matrimony. You understand?